Greetings, everybody. This is the Timmix. Welcome back to Let's Play Motorsport Manager. Head start for Hawkins, and it's time for race 2 in Yokohama. As I mentioned last time, we should be able to burn through this stuff pretty quick because we are not having, don't have the money to design anything at the moment. So there's a lot less to do in between. We've got a 40-hour fix. That's not superb. Interview with the Motorsport EF. Two drivers were fighting away at the front there. Any thoughts about giving them team orders? Makes for better TV when they're racing. No, I think A is the most accurate. Okay, pit crew, yeah, and hard-fought win for DS, pushed to her limits, not at all. Okay, let's get, well, we've got to get our car repairs done. We'll get more sponsor deals, we'll get to that. Right now we want to make sure, and where are we at 100% reliability across the board? We are. Okay, so now let's take a look at what parts we want to improve for Yokohama. Looks like brakes and suspension and engine. Brakes and suspension first of all. And then, let's see, what's the lowest here? We'll just add in that rear wing. And we're not going to finish those up. So let's just nail the brakes and the suspension, the crucial parts. Let's get those as good as we can, and I think that's all there is to do. All kinds of sponsor offers. Roger Harrison, hoping you don't mind this, but well, how can I put this? I've been invited to compete in this underground racing syndicate in Japan. There may be a bit of drifting involved. I'm insured for that, right? Well, improved marketability and cornering. I've got no objection to that. So Yokohama, 47 laps, just over 3 miles. Looks like there's going to be some rain. Brakes are a big deal. And we're pretty good on those also. Happy about the front wing. Beauchamp, don't care. Diaz has been tipped as a driver to beat. I may have lost most of my fortune to my third ex-wife, says McNamara. If I had any money left, I'd bet on her. That's reassuring. Ugh. We don't really have a great car for Yokohama, to be brutally honest, and that's what our people are saying. That's not good. And Thornton Motorsport looking to improve. Worried about finances. I don't know what you're concerned about because I'm doing the best I can. You put all the money into the chassis. I'm just taking what I can out of the situation. And yeah, we're still about the same there. So let's take a look at how our car stacks up now. You can see the rear wing. You know, we're down to 5th. Not looking so hot there. Engine's good. Acceleration's still good. Still 2nd there. 4th on the front wing. 2nd on the suspension. So we're 2nd to Panther in the brakes. And 2nd to Scuderia in the suspension. So you could say we're the best balanced at those two parts. Plus the third part there was the engine, and that's best for us. Still, not looking the greatest. Let's take a look at our sponsors. Okay, second or above. This is going to be the big one. Let's see. We've got a 4 race including Germany and a 3 race including Russia. And yeah, none of those are going to fit because the Russian one would expire before Black Sea, so that's not going to help us in terms of getting the bonuses here. 700k versus 650k. You know, I like the idea of even though we'd get the upfront of 100,000, I like getting the higher money and a shorter deal. I think Notify is going to be our best. And since we're going to go with those, we're hoping for an upfront payment here. Yeah, 8 races versus 12. We won't use them at all, I don't think. We'll use one shy at all, but we'll take that 750k up front. Get ourselves back over $1 million. And let's see what we can get here. 8 races for 500 up front, 4 for 450 and 85 a race, and then 6 at 150 a race. This is Shake Airways is both the shortest and the best deal, so I'm going to take that one. That puts us up to almost $1.5 million. And looking at losing 1.2 million per race, but if we get the 700k bonus, we can only lose 500k per race. So that would be nice. Who knows? We may even be in a position to design some cheap parts if this keeps up. Although we're still gonna, that's still losing 500k a race, and we're not gonna have another anything come in for 3 more races. So even under perfect conditions, we're going to be back down to 0 by, say, a third of the way through the season. So we're not looking particularly like we're going to have any money there. And again, that's top 2 in both qualifying and the race, and that's likely but not guaranteed. Okay, so we're looking at for the race 24 degrees. So, again, super softs. This is interesting. We're definitely going to want super softs for qualifying. But at 24 degrees, mediums, really probably going to want to use those. We're probably going to want to have some of each. I'm thinking a mix of have the super softs available, but they're really going to be like a qualifying tire. And probably mostly mediums during the race. I'm not really sure what to do here, but I'm going to go with that and see what happens. So both drivers, again, thinking they have the better car. As long as we can get away with that, we will. You know what? I'm going to tweak that. There we go. Off to Yokohama, Japan. The crisscrossing track, of course, for our second race. We're going to look to extend our lead over Cont'd Sport here. Take a look at our weight stripping. 330. Whoops. Nope, I did that wrong. Let's try again. There we go. 330 each car, and that should be pretty standard what we're going to get throughout the season. Yep, let's definitely start on those super softs. Downforce fairly decent. Go a bit higher. That should be in the right ballpark anyway. And yeah, let's just do the 4 trim race. Because we're going to want to change things, I'm sure, fairly quickly anyway. So Harrison starting out strong and Diaz weak. That's a bigger gap than last time, but it's the same basic idea. And we got mostly super softs and mediums, a couple regular softs out there. It's going to stay pretty warm. At least it appears it's going to stay pretty warm. So far, no objections. Harrison hasn't had anything to say either way. Well, now he likes his gear ratios. Both of them do. Diaz much faster, perhaps having the better setup out of the gate here. And clearly our track record was way off. Sometimes they are. This is a minute 12 per lap. Also liking the arrow. Well, I keep waiting for objections and I haven't run into any yet. But what I am seeing is that these tires are heating up super fast. And that's what we would expect. And I can honestly see a scenario where we only use the super softs for qualifying. Okay. Alright, we'll give you more downforce. But where we only use the super softs for qualifying, and then it's more of a, like softs at the beginning of the race to get a decent start, and then mediums the rest of the way. Maybe a one-stop softs and then medium. It depends really on how the tires shake out. I want to look at that here in a minute, but I can definitely see that potentially happening. Meanwhile, we're closing in on level 2 already. We're going to get just about everything we want out of this. So yeah, 47 lap race. We could do 2 softs. You know, we could do... Well, about the only thing we couldn't do is 2 super softs. We're going to have to stop once. So we could start on super softs and then go softs or mediums. I think maybe a super soft might work best. And I kind of have to decide that now because I've got to decide what... Well, not now, but soon, so I can decide what tires I want to use. Okay, so we're pretty good here on the speed. We'll want to tweak it a bit. But we're going to want to definitely change this stuff. So, let's try lower downforce. Somewhere around there. Well, we'll go on the understeer side. And then maybe see if a little bit more speed is going to help. That's a decent attempt, at any rate. Diaz zooming by. Best time is not as fast as Harrison, but on the other hand, Diaz is not... is not nearly, forgot what I was going to say, not driving nearly as well today, yes. A little bit of a train of thought getting derailed there for me. Diaz now coming in. So we'll leave Harrison out there however long he needs to max out this level 3. Which may just be this one lap. Oh, he doesn't like his downforce. So we're going to have him come in and then we'll see. Okay, so should be enough. 93% on the first time. I don't know if I've ever done that before. Let's tweak this to about here. Yeah, something like that. So we'll switch to qualifying. And now we have to decide what to do with the tires. And I'm thinking the super softs, just because of how long the tires are. Like, they'll still be able to burn the tires, keep the tires at a high temperature because we're going to have extra life in them. Extra length that I'm doing that. So let's go with the softs and ignore the mediums. And we got where we wanted to be. Oh my goodness, that downforce is terrible. But we're definitely going to switch you to qualifying. And your soft tires. Yeah, we made it worse, 72%. Okay, so we want more, want to go back towards the acceleration on the speed balance, and then we definitely want higher downforce. Much higher downforce. Somewhere around there. You know, I mean, frankly, that's close as it is. We just bump that up there and see how that gets us. Let's give it a roll. The way this practice is going, we could have time to put, you know, maybe a level into the mediums as well, depending on how things go. So Harrison's staying reasonably high. Diaz, at least Diaz, not Diaz, at least up to a decent showing here, and we're easily taking the top 2 practice spots, so I'm liking that. And I'm liking the handling better, so that's good. Now we can see, now it's going to be a little bit cooler on race day, because it's 26 now. Race day is 24. We can still see the temperature spiking up, even on the soft tires. So we'd have to be careful with the tires. Wouldn't be able to push the tires to get any passes, but of course, you know, soft tires are going to be reasonably fast as it is. Well, they both like their gears still, so that's nice. So far, everything pretty much about this practice session is going by the numbers. Nothing to really complain about at all. It's time to back off, though. And I'm kind of curious what that does to the temperatures, if they're actually going to drop by a significant amount on conserve, or if we just have to kind of keep it there. Diaz going back down again. Harrison spiking up now above 7. Yeah, and it doesn't look like that's going to drop it down at all. So it looks like conserve on those is going to be... Now, with it being a little cooler, it is dropping a little. It looks like with it being cooler on race day, that would be even better for that. 96%, so we just got to see if we can make that any better. And I think I might as well switch over to mediums. Okay, so just the slightest bit, so we want to be a bit more, just a bit more speed. I think we want a bit more understeer, a bit more speed. That right there might do it. Let's find out. Start boosting up the medium tires. Harrison coming in, and he's going to need to go back out on the same thing to make sure we finish up our softs. And again, his setup not as good. Up to 90%, so we're getting in the range, but not there yet. Poor, very poor, and good. So we want more downforce. Probably try even more understeer. A little more speed. Go up to 7.2 here. Let's try there. Doggone it. Forgot about where I was on this. Yeah, it was more speed than I wanted. Okay. That's worth a try. Make sure we're still on. Yep, want to stay on the softs. And with the shorter track, I'm expecting to be able to get 3 qualifying runs in, so we should be looking really good there. Hit the qualifying trim, still working on those soft tires and also the mediums. That's about all there is left to do, is get those tire options up as high as possible. We can see on neutral even the medium tires heating up a little bit. But 24 on race day should be just about where we want it. Harrison liking the downforce better. Good news there. And he's done on the soft, so he can come in. Nailing everything but the speed. 98%. Great. Let's see, good. Great. Great. Maybe just a little bit higher on the acceleration, but we try to do that, and we're probably going to screw this up. Anything like 97% or higher, I just find it's better to basically just leave it there. Let's get 2 laps. Switch to your medium tires. 98%. We're going to take it. And 98% with all 3 excellents. So, we got a 98 on both cars. Well, you're not going to do anything, but just go right back out there. And it looks like we're going to have level 1 on the mediums. And the race and qualifying trim both at 3. Super soft and softs both at 3. And there it is with just a few seconds to go. And now we'll wrap this thing up. First 2 spots in the qualifying, both cars at 98%. All of our trims where we'd like them and our bonuses looking good. Absolutely cannot ask for better, although it would be nice. The only thing that would be nice is get Diaz racing better. Didn't stop her from winning the first race, though. Yes, the old bedroom color joke. And people are impressed with us. That's about the size of that. Partly cloudy, partly sunny, depending on who look at it. And of course, 350k on the line for us now in the qualifying. Super softs and qualifying, definitely where we want to be. Both cars. No setup changes. Yep, they both are. Now let's make sure that we're on fresh super softs. Indeed we are. Let's get it done. And I'm going to want to go out right away because I want to get in 3 shots at this. It's going to be really hot. No water in the forecast that we know of. So the usual deal here, about a third, quarter third, something like that of the way out. And then the next car comes. Well, that went right on the button. Harrison continuing to increase up in the high 7s now, and he's setting the pace. Nobody touching him yet. And that includes Diaz. 110.58. Looking like a strong mark, although the grip will increase as the day goes along. Finishing second, almost half a second behind. That's showing Harrison did indeed put in a strong time. He's up to 7.9 now. Diaz still in the low 4s. And we don't have any time to waste. We're just going to switch tires and get the heck back out there. So far, so good. No glitches in our qualifying. Diaz improving her form, while Harrison staying at a high level. And he's cut a couple thousandths, few thousandths off his best time in that first sector. Or a few hundredths, excuse me, and then cut another thousandth off that pace. Wasn't good enough. Well, guess what? 8 thousandths faster when you were sitting on the pole, almost half a second ahead of everybody else. You, sir, have a high standard. Diaz nearly as fast, but not quite. Yep, and not happy with that either. A tenth of a second off the pace. But it sure looks like we're doing nothing but extending our advantage, and really, frankly, we're dominating the field in qualifying here. We're going to be sitting on that front row side by side unless something goes haywire. All the competitive ones have gone out there and done their thing a couple times, and they haven't been able to touch us. Could have some traffic issues here for both drivers. So that's not the best situation. See if Harrison can work his way through it. Looks like he can. I got a little distracted there, but somehow still ended up with perfect tire temps. It's just sort of been a charmed qualifying that way. You can see how high the brakes are. I wouldn't have been able to hit those in, even if I took the sweeter spots bonus. Harrison, though, not with a good first run, but first sector, but he's at 8.5. So let's see what he can do here. Coming up on more problems with traffic. He did cut down on it some. And he literally tied his first, he did the fastest third sector that's been done to literally tie. Now, Diaz on pace to take the pole here. Not quite doing it. 0.025 short. Still, those are some strong, consistent runs. Especially when you consider the rest of the field. I mean, Chapman now getting about 1/4 of a second behind. But most of them close to half a second. I mean, clearly we're the class of the field. And I really think this race, just in terms of car condition and parts and everything, is sort of our peak. Because we've got, well, close to our peak anyway. We've got our reliability dialed in. We're working on maxing out our performance. Maybe our peak is a race or two from now, but we're about as strong as we're going to be. So Harrison, second straight race that he's gotten the pole. Can he avoid screwing up the first turn this time? That's really the question. And of course, we nail that sponsor bonus. Both drivers in the top two. Flawless driving from Roger Harrison. Well, Diaz was expected to be on pole. Guess what? Didn't happen. Not that big of a shock, in my opinion. So good weather here. There was a chance of rain. Let's take a look at that. Not anytime soon, as soon as we can figure out. 24 to 25. So we're going to be using super softs and softs, but might as well give ourselves the starting bonus. And the race trim, of course. And let's check out, well, let's make sure the tires are right. Yep. And then let's check out our fuel. I'm going to think 36 here. It's about where I want to be. Same for both, of course. Actually, wait a second. 20. My math is failing me. So 32 would be about 2/3. No, I don't want to be at 36. I want to be at 34. I knew knew something was off, but I couldn't figure out where I was miscalculating. But yeah, 34. You know, 2/3 would be between 31 and 32. So that gives us those 2 extra laps of fuel that I want to have. And of course, we're going to go hard from the start. Although, we're going to be backing off on those tires as quickly as is humanly possible. Once we make sure we're not doing anything stupid and falling back in the pack. Harrison at 8.5. Harrison looking great. Diaz looking decent. Off to the start. Good start. And up to challenge is Sharp. And this is why you've got to burn it at the beginning, even in a situation where you expect to control the action. Diaz and Sharp battling there. Looks like Diaz winning it here. Up to 8.6 for Harrison. Okay, now I'm going to try to go back down to neutral with both of them, see if we can get away with it. Still keep the engine pumping. Just don't destroy the tires. Definitely want to regularly check that weather report for the potential of rain. Diaz still over a second up on the rest of the field, so I like being there. We are pulling away. And here we come to the start of lap 3, and we're definitely going to back off to medium now. Though a picture perfect start to Yokohama. I don't care what they say about the track not favoring us. Harrison just having a great day, and Diaz able to hang in there. You can see we're already 2.5 seconds up as Diaz, and accelerating on the rest of them. We're just absolutely running away with this. It's early, but right now it doesn't even look like those other cars belong on the same track as us. It is all Hawkins in the early going at Yokohama. And we're up high enough that we're just going to go conserve. Four-second lead. Wow. We're at 24. Looks going to flip between 24 and 25. No sign whatsoever of rain. And probably the most surprising thing, really, is that Diaz is able to hang in this. Doesn't drive quite as smooth. You can see Diaz again. You know, the tires, we've lost a couple percent more of the wear, but still just half a second back. 9.0 for Harrison. Five seconds up on, almost 5, there it is, on the rest of the field. Sort of a pack there, 3rd through 7th, Sharp through Saarinen, but we're running away. And as of right now, Kitano, Panther, and Steinman and Scuderia would all basically be splitting the rest of the points, and we'd have a 2-to-1 edge, which would be brilliant. 9.1 for Harrison. Diaz actually dropping a bit. And, you know, drifting just a bit back, but still inside of a second. Weather, potentially the only rival. We can see up to about a third of the way through the race, and there is nothing there. And given, you know, the dominant lead we've got right now, I think I'm just going to stick with conserve. I'm not really going to try to get as much out of the super soft tires as perhaps I could. I'm just going to wait and wait and wait until I see if it's going to... So the longer I wait, the better chance I have of being able to adjust if there is a problem. 9.3, Diaz only at 4.4, and yet not falling off. That is just remarkable. 8 seconds plus. We are literally gaining like a second a lap, basically, on the rest of the field. It was absolutely remarkable. And, you know, you sort of run out of things to say about it. There's a certain point at which it just becomes, well, we're going to ride around the track another almost 40 times. Yawn our way to victory. Of course, you don't want to count your chickens before they're hatched. But it's looking awfully good right now, as we can see almost to the halfway point on the weather forecast. And it's nothing but dry. Harrison, quote-unquote, fading back to a mere 9.0. Schmidt having problems pitting and having to do repairs and all kinds of interesting things happening there. And no rain in the first half of the race. Well, these tires aren't making it that far anyway, so we might as well go neutral now and squeeze what we can out of them, speed-wise. The tire gap is growing, and with it, the gap between Harrison and Diaz starting to grow as well. Fastest lap of the race, as we bump up the tires a bit there. This will only last a couple laps. We'll have to go conserve again. I'd like to get to maybe lap say 21, although that's probably wishful thinking. Now I'll go back down to conserve. Sort of yo-yo like that for the next few laps till it's time to come in. And gradually Harrison pulling away from Diaz. It's looking like clearly he's going to He's going to win this wire to wire unless something bizarre happens. Could always... They're close enough. It could just be like a pit mistake or something that could put Diaz in front, or he could mess up another turn, but there's no sign of that happening yet. And the cars that have come into the pits now, we're not even that far away from lapping them. And it's looking like this is going to be the last lap for Diaz. 18 laps instead of the 20 to 22. And so she's going to have 29 to go. And the softs might not carry it for her. Now, it might work. And the one thing I didn't take into account formulating the strategy is the difference in the tire wear rates between the two drivers. You know, she's just not as smooth. She is a smooth driver, but Harrison is hyper smooth. You know, and I don't see any reason not to send her on the mediums. Still should be plenty able to keep her spot, and she only has to pit the once. Let's go with it. Of course, we only got the 5% boost on that, but such is life. Harrison will stay out a bit longer and then go on the softs, which will degrade more and be more worn out by the end of the race, but he should be able to make it. I think he might get 2 more laps out of this. Of course, we're going to have to do some hybrid stuff soon. Yeah, I think I'm going to get 1 more out of him. Let's go hybrid. And Diaz doesn't even lose her spot, and then he's going to pit. You can see, like, his rating for these tires is 3 laps. Hers was 28 to 30. His is 31 to 33. And plus, he's going to have, like, 27 left. So he should be able to make that. So it's literally worth him being able to use a different tire. The difference in his smoothness, which is 18 compared to 16. It shows how valuable those driver ratings are. They really do make a significant difference. Yep, and there he is. He's about to go into the red on these tires as he comes in. So near perfect matching up there. Diaz with her fastest lap of the race, and it's back to just over a second. We got drivers that are like 11, 12 seconds behind who haven't even come in. You know what, Harrison? Go hybrid. I just want to match them up. I want to get his energy level down to where hers is. I don't want to mess around with this two different ones. You can see him pulling away now pretty quickly. He's at 9.2 compared to 5.2, and he's also got the faster tires. And at this point, they're even fresher tires as well. There we go, both of them at 80. So they can charge a bit for a while. Gap now at 3 seconds. As we near the halfway point of the race, increasing all the time. And Diaz is still on conserve though, which is not what I want. Should be able to go neutral, if not even more aggressive. In fact, I'm gonna go push just for a little while. Just till I get that temp above medium there. It definitely was part of the increasing gap. We are now, of course, at the halfway point. I want to go conserve here. Diaz, fastest lap of the race, catching up some of that gap. You can see over 20 seconds now. Still gaining almost a second a lap throughout the course of this race, which is, I mean, that's dominance on a level you just don't see. Now we're a little bit above the halfway point. That's enough of that. And under 3 seconds on the gap. Now it's going to increase again. And we'll switch to hybrid for a little while, a couple laps or so. Woodford already a lap down, and I've got a feeling others are going to join before the end of this one. Harrison at 9.4. He's just been spending the whole race in the upper 8s or mostly in the 9s. That is just remarkable stuff. Pulling away from everyone here. And we'll switch back. Down now to 7 laps short on the fuel. Three drivers a lap down now, and it's basically just a game of how many are we going to pass. We could easily end up lapping half the drivers the way this is going. And the rain, and it's either coming later, it's not coming at all. Hadn't checked it in a while, but really wouldn't have affected my strategy much anyway at this point. So even at neutral, the medium tire is heating up a bit. It is 25 right now, not 24, so there is that. So Diaz is going to have to go conserve a bit here. And honestly, I don't see any reason not to put both drivers on conserve. Let's make sure they've got decent tires throughout the rest of the race. Or at least as good as they can be. So it looks like we're basically going to run similar to the last race, except we didn't dominate the last race nearly this much, but this time it's Harrison in front. Last time it was Diaz. We're just going to have a calm finish. And 14th place Gonzalez here, the latest to be put a lap down. Will certainly not be the last. And back to hybrid mode. See how our standings look. Kitano, Steinman, Panther. Scuderia Rossini falling off the pace. But still, at least they're splitting up the points some. If it stays that way, you definitely would have Kitano remaining the clear number 2. And now we'll come up on Lipinen. Schmidt's going to have to pit soon, too. That'll be another one we pass. Let's go harvest more energy. 12 cars on the lead lap for the moment. And Schmidt does indeed go in. So that's now 11 cars on the lead lap. Few seconds up, though, to Oliveira. So that'll take a bit. I think we probably get past Oliveira, Wexler, and Surikov. So maybe Saarinen stays on the lead lap, but Surikov doesn't. That'd be my best guess now. And it's amazing to be looking at that thing, and I mean that's what you're looking at. That's what you're wondering about, what you're trying to figure out in your head. Because the race itself is an afterthought. It's a joke. It's over. It's been over, barring a crash or something. And yet no rain. There's not going to be any rain. The track's just going to keep getting faster. Going to keep pulling away. We're not pulling away as fast as we were earlier, but that's largely because we're just conserving on the tires more than we need to make sure we've got something in reserve just in case. We could be going a bit faster if we chose to. There's just no reason to push it. And it actually could be less than that, because like Chapman pitting, that could put him far enough back that we get another pass there. Going to lap the majority of the drivers. Incredible. Vasquez with the fastest lap, and I couldn't care less, as we now have... Whoa, okay. There's Chapman and Oliveira. And they can both say goodbye. So 8 cars left on the lead lap. Saarinen has pit, so he's not one of them. And Chapman not too happy about this. Got super soft tires and trying to make a move back. So, and there we go. It's several seconds farther up to Surikov. So we could stick there. That could be the way it sits. And that would be perfectly fine if look at Chapman. Oh my goodness, already having problems with the car. You've got maintenance issues on your parts and you're burning it up the track like that to stay on the lead lap? Crazy. You just came out of the pits. This long to go. Oh. Well, I almost maxed out the battery while I was waxing eloquent on that. We go back past Chapman again. Looks like he's going to try to make an issue of it now. But, yeah, I mean, we should be able to go on hybrid the rest of the way. Have some hybrid energy left, actually. So Chapman's still giving chase, and that little mini game is about the only thing we've got left to even concern ourselves with. Vasquez into the pits. And as it comes out, we're going to have a battle there too. And look at cont'd. If they stay where they are, they're going to get beat out by Panther, which is just fine with me. And actually, 40%. Yeah. Uh-oh. What's all that about? Yeah. That's a little iffy. Well, just ride it out. But I'm bumping Harrison up to neutral. Just thinking maybe if I could catch Vasquez, but that's not happening. But if I was able to catch Vasquez, you know, then I could hold him up. But he's really burning up what he can to try to move up positions. I'm just holding him up to deal with our rival, because Vasquez, of course, being a Motorsport driver. But then all of a sudden, Harrison's going to get back to him anyway with the blue flag situation. Okay, then do that. Yeah. So long as I stay in front of him, it's not catching Surikov. Yeah, another 4 seconds up. We're looking good there. Sharp went into the pits. I mean, look at the gap here. Now that everybody's going to the pits, almost a full minute. It's ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. 35%, couple laps to go. You go normal. Not that it matters, but let's do that. Yeah, I mean, Panther and Steinman holding their own with Motorsport. This holds up, we're going to have more than a 2-1 lead after 2 races, which would be fantastic. Can't even... You know, a brilliant start, better start even than I anticipated. I expected to start well to this season. It's possible this could just be, down to 8.9. Oh no. Chapman with the fastest lap. We don't care. It's possible this could just be a much easier challenge. Or it's also possible that, you know, the other teams are going to come on strong later, as the description indicates. So we don't want to be too secure in things. But we're definitely happy with how this went. So 7 cars on the lead lap. Basically lapped 2/3 of the field. Nobody within a minute of Harrison except for Diaz a few seconds back. So far on the year, it's a photo finish between Roger Harrison and Vittorio Diaz, and nobody else even deserving mention by comparison. Four and a half seconds, and almost a full minute back to sharp. Montano only had North in 5th, Vasquez in 8th. So not particularly great. And, you know, 3rd and 6th for Sharp and Surikov from Panther. Nobody broke the rules. We nail our objectives for sponsors, and let's keep right on rolling here. There we go. Both of them tied at 43 with almost double the points. North, you can see a nice big group here, but North and Vasquez in the competition for 3rd best. Yeah, 86, 41, 31. So a huge lead, and one that we're going to try to keep expanding. Off to the bookies to collect my winnings. Thank you. Yeah, sure. Jenny North wants wins. Well, you better improve your car, because that's the only way that's going to happen. Mechanic relationships continue to boost. Marketability up to 26%. That continues to boost. Keith Taylor doing nothing. He's declining slightly. We don't care. Morale down slightly for Diaz because she didn't win. So that's not super. But Harrison looking great. Losing 325. I thought I'd lose more like about 500. Not complaining there either. And Beijing is up next. I don't believe I have done that track before. A little over 2 weeks away. Top speed, acceleration, deceleration, all crucial. Looking like good weather for the race. 63 short laps. Wow, that's a lot of trips. And we'll be able to work on those parts for a couple weeks, so it'll be interesting to see how that works out. But a big lead, the bank balance looking solid. We can start to, you know, keep doing this well. We may be able to consider doing some part designs. I'll have to think about that a little bit more. But all points forward, looking fabulous so far. Move on to Beijing next. Till then, thanks for watching.